You better turn up. You better be.
Well, welcome to Cruise Clues. I'm your host Mikey of the Crochet Crowd. So, my friends over at yarnspirations.com, and today we're going to do the plain hexagons just like you see on camera here. And so what we're going to do then at this point is that we're going to make 8 of these plain ones. You need to bring those with you on the ship. Now if you it's recommending that each one of these plain hexagons, as well as the pentagons, the plain and the outside of the fluffy and the outsides here, all kind of match each other if you wish. Of course, your creativity, you can decide what you want in order for it to make it. We have a color suggestion and it's available in the more information link of this video. So by changing the yarn brands between each of the pentagons, it will change the size. I just did that for the last one for the fluffy, is that I changed it to Karen 1 pound versus here, and so you can see by changing the yarn it changes the sizing. So just be very conscious of that. And then what I want you to do is whatever colors that you decide to use, bring those with you on the ship so that you can be able to use this if you have to. For example, say you did something and you really wish that you could have just changed the motif to a different color, at least you will have the color of yarn and the brand with you so that you can make that change without impacting your project, because we cannot always guarantee that we're gonna have every possible color and brand that everybody is using for the ship. So without further ado, we're gonna start with our plain hexagon and begin to do that, and let's begin that next. So the designer wants you to use a magic circle, so you're just gonna lay the yarn down in front of the palm of your hand and just put 2 fingers out and just go around your hand, and when you go back over top of your fingers, cross over. Okay. Now you're gonna stick the hook underneath the first strand and pull that other strand through, and you can release that off your fingers and just kind of keep things pinched together. So it looks like this, and you want to crochet up over top of these 2 strands, so chain 1 to lock that. So here what you need to do is 6 single crochets in the magic circle. So this chaining one does not count as one of them. So let's start counting them. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once you get that done, is that you're gonna want to pull that strand so it pulls the circle shut. You're going to need to use a tapestry needle to lock that into position. You can't just cut it and hope for the best. If it falls out, the middle of the project will fall out on you. So you have a total of 6 single crochets, but before you move on is that you want to use a stitch marker and put it into the last stitch before the loop and pull that through. Okay, and then just pull tight, and let's begin round number 2. In round number 2, you can, if you're not sure where to start, just you can count it back from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's gonna be the starting one. So you're gonna put 2 single crochets into each stitch until you get to the stitch marker. So that was 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So if you trust in yourself with the stitch markers, you don't need to count, but there will be 6 sets of 2 single crochets by the time you get over there, which is just in a few seconds. So here's where the stitch marker is. That means it's the last stitch, so put in 2 in that one, and when you're there, I want you on the last one, just put your hook through and pull the stitch marker through, and therefore you'll know when it is available to you next time you see it. So let's go on to round number 3. We need to make this a little bit bigger before we make it into a hexagon. So here's the repeat pattern. The next stitch is 1 single crochet, and then the next one has 2. 1 and 2. So the next one has 1, and then the next one has 2. So 1, and this one has 2. So 1, this one has 2. So 1, and this one has 2. And if your stitching is right, the very last one will have 2 stitches in it, which is this one. So you want to move that stitch marker up one more time to identify that last one. So just sneaking in, pulling it through, And let's begin round number 4, which is the final. So round number 4 is just like you did it on the pentagon for making those corners. So the next stitch is 1 single crochet, and the next one then 1 half, and then 1 single crochet, all in the same one, and that is at 1 corner. The next 2 are going to be by themselves. So 1 and 2 by itself. The next one is a corner, so it's going to be 1 single crochet, 1 half, 1 single crochet. So the next one is 1 and 2 by itself, and the next one is 1 half, and 1. And you keep doing that all the way around for this. So the next 2 are by themselves, and the next one's a corner, so it's 1 single, 1 half, 1 single, all in the same stitch, and then the next 2 are by themselves. So you can see the pentagon is the hexagon is starting to show up. So 1 single, 1 half, 1 single is another corner, and then 2 by itself. Okay, and then the next one is another corner, so 1. So I'm using the stitch marker as my guide. And finally the last 2 are 1 single each, but you're not done yet. Okay, and then you can do a single crochet in the next one if you wish, and then slip stitch it to the corner. Okay, so slip stitch it to the half double crochet, and that's where you're gonna fasten off your yarn. You want to leave this so it's about 24 inches long, and when you cut that you will have that as sewing strands for the ship. So you want to pull this through and just leave it to the side. You can pull out your stitch marker if you wish, but don't forget you need to go back and secure your middle one just like you see here. So grabbing your tapestry needle, I would recommend doing it as you go. It's just easier, and then you never forget it, and then you're just going to drag it through to the back side only. So if you ever turn your needle around you will never see it. So you want to keep it just onto the layers of the back and go back and forth in and out of the work a total of 3 times, and therefore it should never fall out on you. If the magic circle is not secured and it falls out, then the interior of the motif will fall apart. So I want you to get those done. You need to make a total of 8 of these and then bring those onto the ship. You can throw this in your baggie, and now you have your pentagons done, and now you're starting that. So we have 2 more to go. The flower A is going to be next.